Hello everybody, we are here with your Fenrir jungle guide. Fenrir, one of my favorite junglers in the entire game right now. You've got two options on Fenrir. You can either go the Boomba's Dagger or the Eye of the Jungle. I am a Eye of the Jungle man. I just think that it's really, really good. So I'm gonna follow that up with a Mace. I am going to get a couple of health potions and a Hand of the Gods. Now, the one thing you got to be really careful about when you go Eye of the Jungle is your mana consumption. Your mana consumption can be pretty rough, and that's fine. I just tend to buy mana potions after my first back for a little bit until I get it going. I am a big fan of Protector of the Jungle at the end of the game. Boomba's Hammer is still really, really good, but I do prefer the Protector of the Jungle for just its raw stats at the end of the game. Other than that, we're going to be starting off with our Brutalize. And this is also going to be the ability that we rank up first this game. Should be quite good against this composition. You can see that they have a Hebo. Hebo has no ability to stop the Brutalize. It goes through all of his abilities, so he's going to really, really hate life for a while. Most of the other characters it also does pretty well against. So we're going to use that Hog right there on that Heartbeat, and I'm already going to be able to get myself over into the mid lane. Now, Hebo seems to be pretty aware of what's happening, so he is chilling back. But I might be able to get over here and get a little action. Nope, not going to be able to get anything. That is okay. Arachne's going to try to come in from top right. Looks like he's starting these up. So I'm actually going to jump over on this and try to see if we can't steal those camps. We're going to be able to steal both of them. That's a good little trade for us right there. Now, I do need to be very careful on my early mana consumption. If Arachne leaves this, I'm going in straight for this fight in Hebo. This guy is absolutely dead. Nothing he can do. I'm going to brutalize him, and he is going to die. Now, I might be in trouble as well, actually, so I'm just going to keep W King away from this Arachne. I'm not going to look back at all. Not going to look back. Not going to look back. Now, I'm going to bait this, and I'm going to jump up in the air, and I'm going to try to run away. Hopefully, that is enough for the Scylla to grab the kill. It doesn't look like it's going to be able to. That was a little bit greedy of me. Actually, this is a little bit greedy of him, but we're missing some of our abilities here with the Scylla. So I'm just going to chill it back out. But we do grab that Hebo. Hebo has a horrible matchup in the Fenrir, and that is because that Brutalize does not stop on anything that he does. You can't be knocked up out of the Brutalize. So he has to basically just sit there and take it, which is very unfortunate. Going to make sure I get my little bonus totem right there. So for our leveling order on Fenrir, you're either going to level your 1 or your 3 first, and that's going to be situational on the game. It depends on the exact composition that you're going against. If you're going against a good amount of characters that won't be stopping your 3, then I would recommend ranking up Brutalize first. If you're going against a team that can interrupt your 3 fairly easily, whether they've got a lot of jumps to get away, they've got a lot of stuns, like a Ymir freeze, whatever, then rank up your 1. So in this game, I'm against a Hebo. I'm gonna make him a camp target. So I'm gonna do a lot of Brutalize ranking up this game. So that is gonna be my level order. So we're gonna go 3, 1, 4, 2 this game. 3, 1, 4, 2. I like to grab a point in my 2 at the level 4 just to have this. We're going to rank it up last, but I like to have the potential of that 35% lifesteal, and sometimes that bonus power can come in handy on an early game Brutalize. So I'm going to pop my mana potion. I'm going to run right back at this Hebo looking for the stun. If I land the stun, he should basically be dead. I'm going to pop my 2 in between that, and you're going to see that bonus power come in handy for my Brutalize, which the Hebo simply cannot stop. Jump over this wall and go back into the right-hand side jungle, getting all of my XP. For our standard combination on Fenrir, we're going to be starting off with our jump. You're going to want to make sure your runes are all the way filled up. You got to have 5 runes. 5 runes on Fenrir is what gives all of his abilities their extra oomph. The extra oomph on your 1 is going to be that it actually stuns, which is really nice. So without the stun effect, not nearly as good. On your 3, with the extra runes, each strike is going to gain an additional 15% physical power scaling, so you get nice extra damage on that. Your 2, for those that don't remember, they actually buffed the 2 recently. I'm going to pick up this Tiamat. I'm just going to ult him. Ooh, not going to be able to actually grab that kill right there. But Tiamat has now used his movement ability, and I'm going to be able to follow with the Brutalize and grab that quick kill. Your Fenrir 2 now gives you 2 runes. So this will help generate your runes on Fenrir now, which is super convenient, and one of the reasons why Fenrir has jumped up into the top of the meta. He's got a little bit of sustain in his kit with the 2. He's got really good jungle clear, and that extra potential on that 2 with the runes really makes it so you have him all the way up. Not to mention the extra runes now that you get for those god kills and assists. That really lets you get those runes consistently up, allowing you to get more stuns, more bonus damage, all that good stuff. So my goal this game is going to be to focus on the targets that I can feel like I can kill the most. The targets that I'm feeling really confident killing is going to be Tiamat. I just came over here and ganked Tiamat, so I'm going to run right back and over and sit here. I would love to do the double gank. He might know that I'm here. His tower is almost dead, so I'm just going to chill out and sit over here, see if he runs over towards his blue. The double gank in solo is really, really effective when you can actually get it off. There he is. I'm going to try to wait on my ability. There it is. That's fine. And I'm just going to go ahead and steal his blue now instead. And then run through their jungle. Another reason why I love Eye of the Jungle is I like to play aggressively in the enemy jungle, and this is going to give me so much vision for free. Jumping right up and down on the Arachnid, going to grab him in my mouth, take him away, and I'm going to pop that Brutalize right on top of him, which forces him to ulti right on out. I do actually have to be careful here. I'm probably going to... Oh, what a body block, dude, from those flipping creeps. I'm not going to be able to live through this one. Looks like the Hebo rotated over on me and Arachnid or ulti up. What a body block, too, from those Arachnid minions. That was hilarious. So we're going to go into a Jotun's Wrap for the CDR. This is also going to give us a little bit more mana. But our early game damage on Fenrir is disgusting. Really, the only limiting factor on our early game damage is going to be our cooldown, so I almost always go into that Jotun's Wrath early. It is so good. Even an item like Crusher, which gives you more damage on your abilities, is typically going to give you less overall, just because of the sheer amount of base damage that Fenrir's abilities actually, Fenrir's abilities actually do. When you're going into gank a lane on Fenrir, you need to make sure your runes are always fully stacked. If your runes are not fully stacked, there's really not a reason for you to be going for the gank. You need to start off that gank with your jump for the initiation on the stun. So you might as well go back into the jungle and try to build up some of your runes before you go looking for those fights. If you ain't got the runes, you ain't got the gank. Now, I don't really care who I pick up here in the mid lane. As long as my Scylla can get here, I should be able to grab us a quick kill. But they might have this all warded because they are playing really far back right now. So I imagine that they have put out some thick wards in the jungle. Speaking of thick wards, I heard those oracles go down right there. And Arachnid is going to be forced to use her ultimate. I kind of want to jump on this Kuzenbo and just bring him in, but I'm going to look around for some more farm. Now I know Arachnid's ultimate is down, which is very nice for me. I'm going to throw down a very deep ward. We can actually gank this. They're going back towards their speed, but they're actually going to be able to get it a little bit too quick for us. He runs right into the Scylla 2, which should allow me to grab that kill. I do need to be careful though. I'm going to have a Kuzenbo following up on me with this Arachnid. So I'm just going to try to back inside of their red buff right here. Not as smoothly as that probably could have gotten. That was a really good Hebo ulti. I'm going to grab a Sentry Ward and a couple of mana pots. Not going to buy health potions anymore because now my sustain from my 2 should be enough. If I ever feel like I'm low in HP, I've got that 20%, excuse me, that 35% plus 20 physical power on my 2. That can basically help me out. For our third item, we're going to be going into a Hydra's Lament. So how you're supposed to be using your abilities on Fenrir and really all gods of Smite is you want to land on your ability, then auto attack, then ability, then auto attack, then ability, then auto attack. This is normal regardless of you actually having the Hydras. But once you have the Hydras, it's even more efficient. So I'm gonna do a jump in, right? Jump in, auto. 2 auto, 3 auto. And that is so much damage potential. Once you get the Hydras online and you start getting that bonus damage going, you're going to love it. He should be able to use that 3 as a jump to get away, so I'm not going to be able to follow up on that anymore. Use a couple of my mana pots. Fenrir is one of the gods that I gank more on than some of the other characters. Some characters in Smite are better at farming, some are better at ganking. Fenrir is really a ganker. So you can see I'm just going right back at this guy. I'm gonna brutalize him and that should be able to finish the kill. Tiamat has the leap when she's in her up top form, but she only has the little dash when she's in her all fours form, which means that I can actually I need to be very careful here because I got to watch out for this Hebo and Arachne. I'm going to jump over this wall trying to get away from the Arachne. And I'm actually just going to get myself right on out of this one and walk right back into our jungle for some more farm. So Tiamat is actually a pretty good target for you to brutalize. You just have to watch out for the fact that she does have a leap when she is in that standing upright formation. For our matchups on Fenrir, the #1 thing that we hate on Fenrir, we hate cripples, man. A cripple will ruin your day. Whether it's an Ares, whether it's an RDO, it does not matter. Your 1 and your 3 cannot be used while you are crippled. They decimate you on Fenrir more than anything else in the game. So you have to be careful when picking Fenrir. You don't want to be picking it into any of the characters with cripples. You will not have a fun time. Fenrir can chase around characters with leaps, but he prefers to go against characters that are reliant on dashes, and that is because his brutalize will stay on them. So whether they don't have a movement ability at all, like Artemis, or whether they rely on a dash like Rama, those types of characters, those types of abilities are what you're looking for. Rama can be a little bit interesting because his rollout does actually provide him with a cripple on the arrow, but most of the time you get like 3 strikes of the brutalize off anyway, and it doesn't actually matter.
Your right tower is under attack.
But you don't want to go against cripples. Poseidon, nightmare. You don't want to go against him, man. You don't want to be dealing with that whirlpool. I promise, it's just not any fun. So there's a Kuzumba way back here. I'm actually going to look for him. That's his dash down. I'm going to jump right on top of him. I'm going to go for this brutalize. I don't know if his ultimate is up, but I don't think I even need to use my ulti even if it was. So we're going to grab that quick kill. And I'm not going to waste any cooldowns of my own. Anner should have already backed from that right hand or from that left hand side. And now we're going to go finish up our Hydras because we're going to get a major damage spike. For my second active, I have grabbed a shell. I'm a big fan of getting an extra shell for your team when you can. Fenrir does not need a blink, so we started with the beats. A lot of junglers have to get blink in order to actually be able to gank. Fenrir, because of his movement with his 1 and his 3 and his bonus movement on his ulti, like he just doesn't need the blink, which really opens up an extra slot. I find that shells right now are really strong. In this game, it's going to get the block stacks for the Arachne and for the Anhurt, which not only can keep me alive against them, but can keep my team alive. If my team also ends up grabbing a shell or 2, and we end up with quite a few shells, it is such a strong combination to have more than 1 shell. We use our shell right there just to force out the Arachne beads and her ultimate. And now I'm going to try to head over to my team in the left lane. I know that I've got all of Arachne's stuff down. I see a Hebo. Going to land on him, hit him with those Hydras procs, pop my brutalize. Absolutely nothing that he can do about it. And my cooldowns are basically already back up. Going to stun this, so hopefully our Ares can get in range for the ultimate. He can, but I actually got to be careful because the Arachne came back in. But now I'm walking right back at them. Going to use my brutalize here on the Tiamat. Now she has used her jump form, so she's actually in it to win it right now. But man, is he tanky. My Brutalize and the Aries Chain is just barely going to be enough. I'm going to try to heal off of this red buff with my 2. It looks like it's going to be just instantly killed regardless. Now, like I said, if you win the Boomba's dagger earlier on in the game, you're going to be getting a lot of sustain right now, so you don't even have to worry so much about the actual sustain from your 2. You're just going to be getting it from clearing camps, but you will not have nearly as much damage in the early game because Eye of the Jungle provides so much early game damage, which is why I like it so much on Fenrir. Now, for my 4th item in this game, I'm going to look at their team. They're rocking 1, 2 physicals, and they're actually doing a triple magical right now with the Kuzenbo Tiamat Hebo. So I'm going to go into an Anchile. Anchile is going to give me a lot of physical power. It gives 60 physical power nowadays, which is awesome for the scaling, especially once I get my Protector of the Jungle. And it's going to give me that little silent effect, which is going to be really annoying for the Hebo and the Tiamat, as if the Hebo wasn't annoyed enough. Just add a little bit more annoyance to his day. Jump on top of him. Lord forbid he tries to use an ability. He's going to get silenced right on out of it. It's also going to provide me with a little bit of those magical defenses, which is going to be nice against this team because I don't want to get one shot by the Tiamat and the Hebo. Gonna instantly counter ward over here because I see that they threw one down, and I need to start rotating towards my team over at the gold. The Tiamat is actually rotating as well. I'm gonna jump on top of him, get some good damage out. He is not using his movement ability until I brutalize. He is waiting, but I'm just gonna outweight him, which is fine. There's his jump. Now I can use my 3 on him, and I should be able to grab this kill. Wow, that is a tanky flippin' Tiamat. Oh my goodness, I'm not gonna be able to get the kill because of how tanky he is. He got the Genji's Guard, the Breastplate of Valor, the Warrior's Axe. Oh baby. Oh baby.
Attack Fire Giant.
Fire Giant. We just attacked the Gold Fury though. Gonna start this right on out. Get rid of that little ward for them. That's a tanky Tiamat. And now we can let the Aries go ahead and tank this. And now we get the Gold Fury after all is said and done. So Fenrir is a true assassin, which means in our team fights, I am only looking to do damage to their damage dealers. It is my job to kill their mage and their hunters above all else. This game, obviously, the mage is going to be pretty easy for me because it is a Hebo. The Anhur is going to be a little bit more difficult. He has the leap to try to get away from me. He's got the pillar to try to make some movement between us. And while he can't really impale me out of some of my abilities, he can use the impale to make some distance, especially if he can predict where my jump is going to land. So Anhur can actually be a pretty good matchup against you as a Anhur. He also has the built-in CC immunity on his ultimate to prevent you from using your ult if you're not careful. Which brings up another point for us on Fenrir. Just because you ulti, it doesn't necessarily mean you want to chomp down right away. Sometimes you just want to ulti and then sit in your ulti for a second to try to see if you can bait out some CC immune ultimates or some actives. You don't have to just ulti and then immediately go for the bite. Sometimes what you can even do is go for fake bites. So purposely go to miss your bites. That way it makes them panic and forces them to do things like beads. And then after their glowing CC immunity runs out, then you actually hit them with the ulti. You do have time in Fenrir ult to get away with a couple of baiting shenanigans. I see a Hebo right in front of me. He's going to have to blink right out of that. That is a good executive decision from him because if that ability hits, he's immediately dead from the brutalize. Unfortunately, he is gonna die anyway because I saw him back at his tower. I'm gonna try to pick up the Arachne right here. I'm gonna hold him still and pop my shell. Then I'm gonna use my 2 to immediately start healing off these camps just in case the Arachne tries to land back on me. I'm gonna try to brutalize away from this because I'm getting chased down by a Kuzenbo. And hopefully we are going to be able to live through this. So that's the kind of nonsense aggression play right now that you can do on Fenrir. That's not uncommon at all. His damage is just through the roof. And he's actually super strong ever since they buffed up his runes with the bonus on his 2, as well as that increase from the kills and the assists on his passive. He is loving Season 8, one of my top, if not my top, junglers right now. So I'm going to rank up my shell and get that for the block stacks. The Arachne and the Anhur are going to start swinging pretty hard, so I want to make sure I've got those 2 block stacks on the shell. And I'm not going to spend the rest of my gold because I should be able to get level 20 really soon off of this jungle rotation. And I want to make sure that I've got the 1500 gold to get my Protector of the Jungle online as soon as it is ready. I think I might need one more camp. Yep. Need about 1 creep right now. So the next time that I buy it, I'll be able to go back and get that Protector of the Jungle. I need to land 1 more auto attack on something to make sure that I've got my runes all built up. There we go. Use my 2. We grab the level 20. We can probably actually go for this tier 2 tower. Gonna pop my 2 to get a little Hydra's proc for some bonus damage on this tower. And we should back up off this one. I need to go back in my Protector of the Jungle. As soon as you get that level 20, you should be backing up ASAP to grab that item. Now I'm going to go into a Shifter's Shield this game because they've got a lot of magical damage. I did not opt to grab some other good items. Berserker Shield can be a really good item on Fenrir. Stone Cutting Sword can be a good item. But I'm going to go more into this full power CDR nonsense. And so I'm going to get myself that Shifter's Shield, which gives me that huge power when I'm above an HP. And it's going to give me those protections when I'm below an HP. Shifter's Shield is a really good item right now. Really solid hybrid damaging item. I'm gonna look right at this Tiamat, see if I can't get some pressure on him. I'm gonna bring him back towards my Tiamat, and we might actually be able to grab the kill here before he can get in that defensive stance and get more tanky. Jumping right in on the Kuzenbo. Gonna hit him with that Brutalize, try to follow up with this jump, and that should be able to grab the kill. And we should move ourselves over towards the Fire Giant. Okay. Now that I've got my Protector of the Jungle online, I've got an additional 65 power, because that's ridiculous. Then we get some physical defenses from it, because we want to be tankier. Plus, we get attack speed 35%, and the bonus 12% power and protections. Without a doubt, the best item in the game. It is just so good. If you're in the jungle, you're absolutely unbeatable. If you're out of the jungle, it still has disgustingly good stats on it. It's just a win-win-win item all over. So I'm gonna try to make sure that I can get my Shifter Shield before I back. The second I can finish my Shifter Shield, I'm gonna back it on up. Call for attacking left lane. We want to push over, away from the Fire Giant. Farthest line away from the Fire Giant is always the one that you want to shove. That way, if you don't end the game, you still pushed hopefully up to a Phoenix and taken the Phoenix. So for the next Fire Giant, you've got minions pouring down that lane that they have to deal with. Not even going to worry about getting my speed buff right now. Not a big deal. It would be nice for us to get this Oni. They've got their Anhur on it. I'm going to stun him. Hopefully not going to be able to, but I am going to be able to get my Brutalize off. Scylla goes in very aggressively as well. We grab ourselves a quick kill. And now we're going to be able to shove down the left lane and the mid lane. We've got a bunch of Tiamat minions also shoving over and right. Tiamat minions, you have to watch out right now. Tiamat might, honest to God, be the best split pusher in Smite now. Because she can throw down minions in a lane while being in another lane. So there's 2 lanes that she can be in at the same time by using her minions on her ultimate. You have to really watch the map when you're playing against Tiamats, because they will secretly push down your towers so fast with that ability. It is crazy how strong it is in the late stages of the game. I'm talking take all your towers and your Phoenix strong. Gotta keep your eyes out for it. So now my goal here at the very end of this game is just to quickly look for a pickoff. Anybody, anywhere at this point is a good target. Probably anybody but the Kuzenbo I can go super far in for. Tiamat doesn't have any beats, so if I jump on Tiamat and grab her, we can even grab a kill onto the Tiamat, who is more tanky, just because he's a solo laner and doesn't have any beats. I've also got really good Phoenix damage if I can get into Phoenix range. We've got the Oni creeps coming up. I'm jumping on Tiamat. I'm going to go for the ultimate. I'm going to grab him, bring him right back to my team. And even though he's the solo laner, there is no such thing as tanky solo laners this late in the game. Anher is about to use his ultimate. I'm going to jump right on top of him. You can see that was coming. I'm going to brutalize around the wall for the Hebo. And we're going to be able to finish this one right on up after we grab our mid Phoenix. So this big power build works on all of the ability-based junglers right now. I find that it works particularly well on gods like Fenrir and Robin and Thanatos. But those are the types of gods that you should be really playing in the jungle right now anyway, if you want to be carrying from that jungle position, guys. And that is the end of that particular build.
Farewell for now.
So don't pick Fenrir against cripples. Outside of cripples, you can basically chase anybody down. Make sure you're paying attention to what their composition is, though, because that's going to affect whether you level up your 1 or your 3. First, a lot of ways to interrupt your brutalize. You level up the jump. Very few ways to interrupt your brutalize. You're going to rank up that brutalize first, because that's going to actually do more damage than your 1, but you've got to make sure they can't interrupt it. Otherwise, you're not going to do any damage with it, guys. And that is our Fenrir jungle guide.